That's Mike.
And that's Toya.
And this is Tech Beats and Bytes.
I totally was about not to.
He wasn't ready. He was not ready.
I don't know why I was about to let you say. Look, man, how you doing? How you doing today, Toya? How's you doing?
I am good. I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I heard traffic was bad on the way up.
It was. There was some craziness around 95 South, but it's okay. It dispersed randomly. You know how the traffic just dispersed. You're like, what?
Right.
What was this?
And everything gone. Like, what was y'all doing?
Right. Somebody just driving slow? Yeah.
All right. So got a lot of things to go through. I'm just going to put this out here. We're not going to be talking about Trump and the impeachment. So if you were watching us for that, we just waiting for him to go to jail. It's just the way we see it. just wait.
Do you really think that's going to happen?
I don't know. I was watching this little thing on fake news, Fox News, and the way they talking about it, I think certain Republicans just going to try to ride this out. I don't understand the point of it, but I just think they're going to ride it out.
Listen,
so we'll see
Lindsey Graham is his ride or die. He came to bat for him yesterday with that lynching comment. Which
everybody need a girlfriend like Lindsey Graham.
Out of control.
Straight girlfriend.
That was insane. Just saying. Enough about that.
All right. So moving into the good stuff.
Yes.
Speaking of fake news, Instagram is going to begin adding false information label over their fake news. The social media giant announced Monday that its users will begin to see labels that read false information on posts deemed false by fact checkers. I'm curious about who the fact checkers are. Facebook users and Instagram users will start to see the label next month. They'll still be able to see the debunked posts, but only after tapping the false information label. So I'm wondering if any of this will decrease.
So it's really interesting, right? Because Instagram is owned by Facebook, and Facebook has been very vocal about not taking down fake content,
freedom of speech,
just because it's fake, right? But Instagram's like, well, let us at least let you know that this is some bull. But it could stand, but at least we're gonna let you know so you could make proper choices and not just go into the bubble of like the rabbit hole of lies.
So deep down inside, the first thing I'm thinking is, why the hell hasn't Facebook done this since you're the parent company? Why not start with the most important asset to bring that value right out the gate?
Oh, because Mark is at Capitol Hill today. That's why.
He's going to jail too. So Facebook says they started by focusing on links and articles because that's where most of the issues are. No, most of the issues are in your comments, not just the links and articles. And they have since expanded.
And the ads.
Yeah, okay. Right. So then it says we have since expanded to images and videos. Most of the work is to reduce misinformation on Instagram is done by the same. So like you just said, so you're worrying about the stuff that people are posting. Get it. But there is absolutely no maintenance control over the people that are paying you that are putting up false advertisement. So basically, we're going to do whatever we have to do, but we ain't going to hurt our pockets.
Right.
So as you sound so mad.
So I just had another thought and I saved it.
Oh, okay. So
put it in my pocket.
As AP Daniel has said, I think I'm just going to post fake news to see if they really, but see, the thing is it's hard in my soul to do that because I don't even know where to get fake news from. I mean, besides
you just make it up and then you post
is the best rapper of all time. Will they flag that? But how do you start differentiating the things between opinionated, because that's the thing, I guess your advertisements are opinions, so you don't really flag advertisements, but you flag articles because they're supposed to be deemed truthful people from the news. Like, I don't understand how they're going to manage this.
Yeah. They're probably going to focus more so on political stuff, especially because, we're getting hot into the season. So I'm thinking that's probably where the emphasis is going to go. It's probably not going to be so much on commercial stuff, not commercial stuff, but like public chatter that happens in the space. That's what I'm thinking. Because at least if they start there, it'll give them something, and there's something to fact check against when you know that they're lying about the climate change and and illegal people voting and all of that stuff that they like to tout all the time.
All right, so we think about that, and that makes sense. You're worried about the political aspect. But then Facebook decides they're going to launch a tab dedicated to the news. On Friday, the Wall Street Journal announced a deal with Facebook, which is also rumored to be working on deals with the New York Post, Washington Post, BuzzFeed News, and Business Insider. Now, I find that very curious because pretty much everybody that I just named is known to be liberal. So this should be very interesting. But according to the Wall Street Journal and other news corps, and Dow Jones publications will supply headlines to the news section, which could launch before the end of this month. So the publishers will be paid for licensing fees ranging from hundreds of thousands to dollars to a few million, and all publishers are not going to be paid. So will this reduce the fake news proliferation on Facebook, or will it increase it? Or will the right-wingers have to find another platform to tell their lies on? Will it get it under control?
I don't know, because are people really going Facebook looking for like news like that?
I think most people are addicted to Facebook, and I think the Facebook impacted elections more than people think.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm saying, are they on there looking for news articles versus like what you saying? Or like what your personal opinion is and what their friends are saying and the dialogue that's happening. But I think people use
that for their intro to try to prove their point, right? So they have their little...
So you're saying they can use like a works cited? This comment...
Yeah, because they basically, people make their little comments they say, and then, they'll tag it, and then they be like, oh, it's backed up because I have this article posted from Fox News, and this is the truth. I mean, I don't know if they're going to start scamming memes and stuff like that. But yeah, to some degree, I believe people use articles to try to justify their point.
Yeah.
So if you can flag the article with the point, that'd be great. But I do believe it's going to hurt a lot for some political arguments when basically before you even have to go down there and say, this is fake, right? It's already tagged as fake. But I'm very curious. I'm very curious as to what this is going to do in the political races and what this is going to do just in like business and aspects in general. Like,
I just see people throwing articles at each other. Like I used to be able to wave. Right. Just hit you with that article because you're lying on your timeline.
Like, hold up. I took a screenshot of the article you posted and it was viewed false. So are you willing to delete this after it's been proven that it's false?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think it's fun.
It can definitely be entertaining.
I think it's gonna be fun. I'm not a huge Facebook user like that, but those who are and those who like to get into those monologues on their timelines, this is just gonna give them resources to do even more of that.
Alicia walked by, she like, oh, you must be in a Facebook argument because I be in it.
So this is gonna be good for you,
especially when you gotta walk away from the phone and get to the laptop. Like, give me my laptop. No, iPad ain't gonna do it.
Right. So this is gonna be good for you.
All right. So to the good people out there that's been having all the discussions about the beautiful parachute of privilege, let's go ahead and talk about WeWorks real quick. So SoftBank reportedly ends the WeWork ownership debacle with a $1.7 billion payout to Adam.
Ooh, to be so lucky.
Adam, you getting $1.7 billion. That dramatic pause is on person. Adam, you is, bruh. I got about 200 people that's waiting for your master class, how to finesse and hustle and pimp the VCs of America.
Ooh, honey.
I just want to do the logo. I want the logo and the shirts. That's all I want because they have announced a deal. So SoftBank is going to buy out around 80% of the real estate, which is pretty much all WeWorks is because it's not like they have structured programming.
No, it's space.
And the former CEO of Sprint will be the new executive chairman of WeWork. So basically, you just bringing garbage to trash because Sprint is horrible anyways. So Adam, the co-founder and CEO of WeWork, will walk away with more than $1 billion and become a board observer. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying.
You just sit in the corner.
So it ain't like he can't look at somebody in Ocean's 13 them and tip his glasses to tell him how to vote because you sitting on $1.7 billion. Money is power. Power is influence. Y'all don't think he just gonna pay people off to keep doing what he doing? So y'all didn't think just take him off. He got $1.7 billion. He can live off a couple of million every year for the rest of his life and be good. But y'all just like, I don't get it. So SoftBank was WeWork's largest investor. So Toya, there's things and we talk about the S sandwich. I'm trying not to cuss as much for the kids. I find out a lot of youth watch our show.
Oh, hey guys.
Toya, is this privilege sprinkled on top of a bailout. Is that what we're looking at? Is that what this is?
A Ja? Ja.
And look, man, I know a lot of times when we have these kind of conversations, you try not to make things about race, and you know we have the comment like if Obama did it compared to Trump. But I just want to say this to some people out there. Imagine Michael, ran a real estate company. I screwed everything up, and I'm about to get paid out $1.7 billion. How fast do you think the SEC would be knocking at my door to start collecting and try to get me arrested? 1.7 billion for messing up.
Right, for messing up.
I feel like that eBay commercial when they looking at the prices and they know they like getting overcharged, which eBay, I don't know if that's ever true because y'all got some janky services on there. But we're gonna talk about y'all too.
There's nothing that needs to be said about that. That speaks for itself. Yeah.
This is what
that just speaks for
when
itself.
certain people speak about privilege, this is what we're talking about. This is what privilege looks like.
That is one hell of a parachute.
And as somebody else said in my comments, he'll be running another startup in about 6 months.
Yeah.
And he probably got a Netflix documentary. I mean,
investors lined up.
The little girl with the fake voice, it sounds like a robot, Theranos, whatever that company was. She did the same thing. I guess it's better to get hustled by your own than to get hustled by somebody else, huh? Speaking of, real quick, to throw that in, eBay is beating Amazon right now in stocks. For those that we told you we would give you advice, well, we will give you information, not advice. The smaller e-commerce player has surged 40% since January, while Amazon has struggled to keep even with the broader market gains. eBay right now is outperforming 2-to-1 year to date. So what do you think is about to happen, Toya, if people are investing into the stock of eBay and not Amazon? I know Amazon is still making money.
Yeah.
But is it the less profits, or like why is the stock market leaning towards Amazon? I mean, eBay.
Leaning towards eBay. Well, for one, eBay stayed in their lane.
Check.
eBay's not trying to do a whole bunch of stuff.
Check.
eBay is like, this is what we do. We do this well. We're going to stay here and double down on it.
Checkmate.
So there's something to be said about focus.
Consistency, yes.
And consistency and being sustainable, right? Because Amazon, have they been profitable yet? Because they've been operating at a loss for like a long time. So that's one aspect of it. I don't know enough about eBay. I haven't necessarily looked at them like that.
Nobody asked.
To know like how they're doing from a financial standpoint, but they aren't spending and trying to innovate at the same rate per se as Amazon is. Amazon is doing transportation, shipping, and everything, right? And they started out with like books and Kindles and Audible, and yeah, now we're here. Amazon rules the world.
It is weak. So blockchain locks it down. So just so you know, blockchain platform TBCA Soft Technology and IBM Telecommunications conglomerate SoftBank again. SoftBank is everywhere. Listen, SoftBank is the new mafia.
SoftBank ain't soft
at all.
They hard.
It's
AF.
called Hard Bank.
Hard AF. Listen.
They announced a collaboration to adopt a cross-carrier telecommunications blockchain payment solution. The first application that CBSG intends to launch is the Cross-Carrier Payment System, CCPS. They like C's and B's, which aims to enable mobile service users to use their phones for payments with local merchants. Remember when we told you guys about data? So now I got your phone number. Now I know where you're using it, and I know how you're spending your money. Them advertisements is about to be so specific. So I see you just left. Did you get?
Right.
Did you forget about?
Retargeting is real.
It's just a whole nother level. Now we was talking about how things move, and we try to explain people like,
right,
you got to watch the markets, watch how things shift, pay attention. So Snapchat has reported its third quarter results of 2019, revealing that, check this out, Snapchat has added 7 million new users and bought in $446 million in revenue. Now, I must admit, Toya, I had to do some deep diving. I didn't even know Snapchat was making that kind of money.
Quiet as it's kept.
it's a lot of revenue that goes into Snapchat. I've deleted that thing off my phone 4 times.
Right. I never got into Snapchat.
Every time, like even just the flow of the actual user interface is annoying as hell to me. But I realize as a sophisticated Apple user, Snapchat is actually very much so an Android thing. Snapchat's daily active users grew to 210 million, up from 203 million last quarter. Smaller jump, but the app added 13 million new users to the larger part of its viral gender swap filter. Now I'm gonna grab a drink on this one, because why are y'all so fascinated of being a different gender? I'm just talking to the young people that use Snapchat.
Right, I was gonna say, because Snapchat skews very young, and that's probably why I didn't get it. It did not appeal to me. Just saying. Cheers, y'all.
Ooh, we got a good one today. All right, so this is what's going on there. So,
blueberry. I'm a blueberry beer fan.
Blueberry Pale Ale. Oh, Blueberry Pale Ale by Timeline Brewery. So
y'all better do it.
That would be. We don't do names no more. You forgot we do years. So what year did Miles Davis Kind of Blue album come out?
Ooh, that was my album too.
So if somebody can tell me the year,
right, drop that in the comments.
Drop it in the comments. If you can tell me in the comments the year Miles Davis Kind of Blue album came out, we will send you some beer, and that's going to be the year that we name the beer after. Miles Davis Kind of Blue. All right, so following the rebuild of the Android app, Snapchat is now more performant on a wider variety of devices, and they have been working on localization and other efforts to create better user experience across international markets. So I did have to Google this. First thing I was thinking is vertical content, right? Mm-hmm. That's going to be their winner. There's no way you don't win there making vertical content, because that's how you snap.
Right, phones are what people use.
So another thing, Toy, that I found very interesting is companies see significant potential in augmented reality advertising. I know we talked about augmented reality a couple of months ago, told everybody we think it's coming. So, but this is how Snapchat makes their money for people that don't know, because I definitely didn't know. In between Snap ads, sponsored lenses, the Discover section, branded geo filters, and sports partnerships. Because I was watching a lot of the sports stuff on Snap. There's ESPN Plus. Mm-hmm. I'll have to talk about them again too. But ESPN Plus had a very dope filter. So thank you to the people that help us produce the show for answering the question. Now we can't give away the beer.
Right. Hello, guys. Jeez.
So,
Alicia said, "Send me my coins."
No. Alicia actually posted it.
She said, "Send me my coins, girl. Your coins live in your house."
Right? I am the coin. It's all right. Yes, guys. So we are picking a name. This will be because this one is good. I like this.
Mm-hmm. It's good. It's nice and light.
Yeah, Reyes did this thing on this one.
It's not syrupy. I've had some blueberry beers that were like really syrupy and
this on
reddish and stuff.
So not like Karen trying to add blueberries to the potato salad. But so 1959 is the name of this one. So in related news, adding on to it, like I said, how things go back and forth, Snapchat has now they're looking and they consider the popular app TikTok as a friend, whereas as we know, as Toya said, Zuckerberg is defending Libra in Capitol Hill. They describe TikTok as one of Facebook's emerging competitors. Now that's something dope.
Yeah. And what's interesting, right? So when you're talking about Snapchat and how they're positioned in the market, right? They're not as big as Facebook. But, and even when you talk about TikTok, Snapchat has fewer members and users than TikTok. But Snapchat is working with TikTok. So they have advertising, partnerships, they kind of do different services. But that speaks back to how you leverage your position, right? How can you identify other people and businesses that sort of complement what you're doing, and how can you work together to create a win-win solution?
What she's saying in a nice way for the people in the back, collaborations work.
Right. It ain't always about competition.
That's what she's trying to say.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was a little tidbit. I was like, let's sprinkle this in real quick because you when you think about it, you feel like everybody in tech is like, I want to be the number one app. But sometimes it's like, hey, I see what you're doing. This is what I do. Let's work together and create something that works really nicely.
And I can't do it at the level that you're doing it without having you on my team.
Exactly. All boats rise.
So TikTok, they have 700 million daily active users across this app. So I have not used TikTok, but I definitely see, as we say, when you get old, the youth.
Right.
The youth.
They are all about
They
TikTok.
is all about TikTok. And I mean, they making it happen. So
yeah. Even after everybody thought TikTok was going to kind of see a little bit of a drip or a dip rather, when it came out about them being a Chinese owned app.
I got drip for sale. I got drip.
But obviously the young folk don't care about that. They like, let me do my TikTok to do that real quick.
Because they're going to be, by the way, just a random, the Rhythm and Flow is really dope. If y'all haven't watched Rhythm and Flow on Netflix, it's worth watching. Mm-hmm. Speaking of something we told you guys about streaming, Verizon is now giving its customers, Dante, I meant to tell you, call them to make sure we get this. Verizon is giving its customers 12 free months of Disney Plus.
There goes that plus again. Nomenclature. We talked about that last week.
So out of nowhere, Verizon has decided to partner up with Disney Plus. Definitely looking forward to this. So it's a great way for Disney to juice its early subscriber numbers. If you guys want to give a reference to this, this is kind of what Jay-Z did with Samsung when he gave his album away. You roll it up, you still get the numbers. The numbers show users, you get active users, people end up continuing their subscription, forgetting to cancel, also known as the gym membership theory. And the next thing you know, Disney Plus is killing it because you just forgot to cancel, and that $9.99 a month isn't really hurting your account, and you forget it because it gets embedded into your Verizon bill. Now Verizon gets a cut of your bill, and Verizon is now making money with Disney. Now,
there go that collaboration again.
Collaboration is something about it.
It's a hot topic.
Arrogant people don't want to work with people. So while Comcast and AT&T each have their own successful media properties, Verizon has Verizon Media Group, which also owns TechCrunch, and the fortune of media landscape. So you look at the investment thesis buying AOL, then Yahoo, then merging them into Oath, the Oath of Failure. And then rebranding them as Verizon Media Group, that fizzled. So why try to make your own media group when you keep making the mistakes? Partner up with Disney Plus, release content through Disney. Disney comes and gets your subscribers. You have one of the strongest networks. And if you realize people are addicted to the Black Mirror, you're coming out with 5G LTE, and now you're streaming movies, and your next Marvel movie isn't even released in the theater. It's released directly to your phone for early viewing.
What you say? Did that go over?
Just think about it.
New distribution model.
Think about
Speaking of new distribution models, I was listening to an interview the other day, and what is her name? Sophia Chang. She was like the Wu-Tang Clan manager.
Oh, okay.
And so really dope. She just dropped her audiobook, but she only did an audiobook, and she turned it into like almost like an audio album. So she was like, she completely left a lot of money on the table for not doing an actual tangible book and only doing a digital version.
But did she? She probably gonna make her money 10 times over.
Right. So other stuff to think about. How can you leverage the technology that exists
Remove the printing costs, distribution costs.
Exactly.
Direct digital.
Right.
And you're selling it to music fans. Not that music fans don't read, but you're already plugged in. Why not listen to the story?
Exactly. A little sprinkle of business for y'all today.
So if you haven't paid attention to 5G, and also if you want to, I would advise that if you have time tomorrow, come out to the Black Men Talk Tech. One of the gentlemen that helped develop the 3G, 4G LTE, Tony Abrams, that used to be the CFO of Combs Enterprise, is going to be there talking about the journey of how 3G and 4G was actually created and the pieces of how
that's going to be a good talk.
Yeah.
Especially for those who nerd out on technology.
It's amazing because you realize why they did it and what kind of content they was going to stream. And by the way, it will be moderated by yours truly. So you know I'm going to dive in. So data banks. Now this was a shout out for my boy Jason. Data bricks doubles the valuation of up to $6 billion in 8 months. For you guys, you can't see it, but for my team in the notes, this is one that I actually included a link because I want my team to read this. The data analytics startup helps company organize their data with what, Toya?
AI. That stands for artificial intelligence.
Now, we talked to y'all about artificial intelligence, and we told you how impactful it was going to be. Now, I'm going to jump to the end of my conversation and come back to the beginning. The end of my conversation wants you to know this company is a 6-year-old company. The reason why I want to address that, quit thinking that things are new and just happening. Do your research to know how long people have been working at something and what it takes to make a successful company. Because in your mind, most people will hear new company and think this company has been around for 24 months. This is a 6-year-old company. And even on our show, we only really started talking about artificial intelligence a couple of episodes and just mentioned it maybe a year ago. This is a 6-year-old company. So this company is about 8 months after its last round of funding. The data analytics startup has raised $400 million from its investors, bringing its total funding to nearly $900 million. But that's not the part that caught my attention. The part that caught my attention is Databricks has more than 5,000 customers, including Viacom.
They own MTV, VH1,
HP, and Cisco Systems, which is pretty much everywhere.
Yep.
That's their top 3 customers that they name, but they have 5,000 customers. Now, I'm not going to reveal his name because I want somebody, if somebody can tell me who helped start this and was one of the first funders into the platform, I'll get you a free ticket to the conference tomorrow. Anybody besides David and Alicia, I'm not paying for y'all ticket. But you should do the research to realize who's behind this company. But one of the biggest things is you're now talking about data being sorted and analyzed by artificial intelligence. It may not seem like a lot, but we have, what was the movie where the computer was the talking woman and like she went rogue and she was, is that iRobot?
Was it?
Yeah, it was actually iRobot. Yes. Oh yeah, to Ellis, you were saying, well, did iRobot come out within the last 10 years? Ellis was having a conversation about Will Smith being washed up. iRobot was great. But you're talking about artificial intelligence analyzing and sorting data, which goes back to what we said before, the diversity of the analyzation, because what's the basis of the brain of the artificial intelligence? How is this intelligence being dissected? Sounds great, but it seems kind of tricky to me.
And not only that, right? So when you talk about workforce and then how that data can be used and the quickness of which you can get reports, right? So currently, a lot of stuff is done by hand. You have different systems that kind of spit out different reports when you're talking about like marketing or anything like that. But when you
be programmed by a human,
right? But then when you add AI on top of that, now you can sort of see insights and maybe anomalies that you may have missed before because you weren't programming or you weren't looking at the data through that particular lens. But with having that AI filter, it can sort of calculate and crunch everything quickly, spit it out, and then now you can have a better viewpoint and understanding of what you're looking at. So AI is huge, especially when you talk about how that can inform decisions for businesses.
So I'm going to do a quick shout out to my boy Jason Talafero, and I'm going to leave this little nugget for you guys. The next billion-dollar company is a cybersecurity company that focuses on nothing but the security of artificial intelligence. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
I may try to start one. Might be somebody working on one. But that's going to be the next billion-dollar company, securing that data. So St. Louis is the top city for female entrepreneurs.
Say what? We see you St. Louis, Missouri.
That. Hold up. Where was Nelly from?
St. Louis?
Don't he have a lawsuit right now?
Who?
Nelly.
Oh, I don't know.
According to the census data, St. Louis has more women-owned startups than any other metro area in the U.S. Man, we thought it was going to be Miami. So with the Valley being seen as the boys' club, the Midwest cities such as St. Louis, Chicago, and Indianapolis can be the antithesis of negative gender impact in entrepreneurship. All right. So the question is to find out what is the breakdown of minority women, particularly African-American women, juxtaposed against African-Americans in the St. Louis area. While it's a good start, we definitely need more cities to compete. The nearest city to St. Louis is Austin, Texas, which has become a cliche in the tech scene. Of course, that's because of South by Southwest and lower cost of living and everything there. But beyond Atlanta, we need to see more cities that realize what we have always known at Digital Grass. Women entrepreneurs are the future of success.
Absolutely.
So, Toya, how do you think we can get Miami to be the top city for female entrepreneurs? Or what do you think is the secret sauce that St. Louis has going for it?
Right. No, that's what I was going to say. It'll be interesting to kind of see what St. Louis is doing and what they've created to sort of empower that, right? So when you talk about Atlanta, I know that Atlanta has different sort of incubator spaces and programs that are also being done through their local government, right? Or even like civic organizations that are doing different things. So I wonder how the city is sort of empowering that. And I don't necessarily think that Miami is super focused, or South Florida for that matter, is super focused on providing those ends on a very like unilateral basis, right? So you kind of have people doing things over here. You have pockets, but it's not like a concerted effort across the counties to really sort of do that and to create what's happening here, right? You have a very like Latin focus. You have sort of a tech focus around the Wynwood area, which is something we've been talking about for a very long time. But you have pockets in other places, and I know like the Opelika CDC is doing different things, and you have sort of small like the 7th Avenue CRA But where's the, a lot of times when you see great things happen is because there's a lot of momentum and a concerted effort coming from a very collective manner of organizing. And so maybe that's what St. Louis is doing. Maybe it is a top-down sort of directive to sort of position themselves to be that way instead of grassroots coming up. Because sometimes when you're doing things organically, it takes a little bit longer. Versus having something that's like this is how we want our city to be positioned.
And just in case if you didn't catch that, to everybody out there in Miami, LaToya just gave you the plan of how to make it happen. Just want to put that out there. By the way, this is some breaking news. We have breaking news.
Oh, what's that?
Shout out to Southern University as it launches its first cybersecurity course at the HBCU. Man. Only reason why I gave it a slow clap, Florida Memorial University, you could have had that whole program 5 years ago. I'll be generous. 3 years ago, Florida Memorial University, this could have been you, but you decided to build a football field. So moving along for you.
I don't know about that. But so in these streets, speaking of colleges, student debt just got real, as if it wasn't real before, but it's real now. Because with a new reality TV show produced by Ashton Kutcher called Going From Broke, that tackles student loan debt and highlights just how bad America's debt crisis really is. It's a 10-episode series that just premiered on streaming service Crackle that features indebted millennials and their financial progress after they've gotten advice from a financial expert. So while it's a reality TV show, the show is getting a lot of things right when it talks about millennials, money, and from classic wealth building advice to common financial pitfalls. So what you're seeing, each episode kind of features a different person, and what they kind of go through is somewhat of like financial advising and counseling to kind of help them get out of their situation. So in one of the episodes, there's a husband and wife couple. They're 28 and 32 respectively. Of course, the husband's older, and they have 2 kids, but then they also have $100,000 in credit card debt that's spread across 14 different credit cards. So what happened with this particular incident is he's on disability leave. She was laid off. She's now doing some side hustles, trying to make ends meet. And they're going to be going through this sort of advising process. And then you're going to kind of see how they work through that process in the episode to kind of show you and provide some real world, real life experiences. And as we know, student debt, college tuition are really, really hot topics when we're talking about the 2020 election. So this reality TV show is really right on time because it's bubbling up what's happening and showing real people, real faces, real situations that are dealing with this sort of debt crisis. So interested to see how it looks and how it works out. Dan Rosenwig, who is the CEO of Chegg. Chegg is a website. They do like internships and they have some different things to kind of help millennials get into the workforce. And so he was saying that basically we need real solutions in real time to end the vicious cycle of debt and get hardworking young people on the road to financial freedom. He said, "My hope is that the stories in this show shine a light on the crippling impact debt and financial instability has on our kids, our future workforce, and our economy." So he is actually one of the advisors on the show. So again, definitely check it out, especially for those who have maybe some millennial kids who you know that they're struggling. They may actually want to tune in because a lot of times you can learn through other people's mistakes. And that's what's popping in these streets.
Well, I hope they can help me because I would definitely rather have a car payment than to be paying off this student loan. But I'm telling you right now, Sally Mae, just because you change your name, I'm still not paying it off. You know, one day I really do want to pay it off. One day I would love to see that debt go away.
Yeah, but that's what happened. A lot of people just living with it and continuing to move forward. It's interesting.
$200 and something every month be killing me. Speaking of, let's go to the entertainment side of the world. So it's just not funny anymore. After pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into stand-up comedy specials for the likes of Jerry Seinfeld, Dave Chappelle, and other great artists, Netflix has decided that it's going to cut back on its comedy. The company says it's refining its strategy after relying on stand-up as a magnet for new subscribers over the past years. Toya, this disturbed me very much.
Why? You like your Netflix comedy?
No. It's not why it disturbed me. Why would you rely on a one-time 60-minute special for someone to subscribe to for a month?
They saw it as like lead gen. So very pay-per-view type thing. Like, oh, I want to see Dave Chappelle new thing. Let me get Netflix. And then they help you stay.
So just for the common sense people out there in the world, just want to know, if you were subscribing to watch a series that will require you to binge, that would possibly be about, I don't know, 13 hours worth of content versus you watching something that's 60 minutes of content, which one are you most likely to subscribe to? I want another consulting job because this is stupid to me. I don't understand how you expected that to work. I understand that stand-up comedy has been a key area, and they've spent a lot of money acquiring the stand-ups. Eddie Murphy's old stand-up was on there, and I get that. But between TV shows and documentaries and movies, at least the movie can last for 2 hours. Why would you think that somebody is going to subscribe to something? Because I remember like New Year's Eve, that was a thing. We had people over, and everybody came over, and we watched one of the specials. I think it was the Dave Chappelle special. But after you watch the special, unless it's great, you don't go back and watch it again. And unless it's amazing, you definitely don't subscribe for a whole month just to watch a comedy special.
Right.
And not that many comedians are really that good.
Right. But I think, again, because the way the interface works, so after you watch it, they're going to hit you with other stuff. So the idea is, it's like a sales funnel, right? Ooh, let me bait you
with some other shows.
With this real quick, get you in. Oh, it doesn't cost that much. Just stay up for a little while. Go ahead and start to watch this series. We see you watch this. You may also like this. And that's all it is. It just kind of pulls you in and then you stuck. That's what they want.
I mean, it's almost like trying to get people addicted to Popeyes with nothing but the sandwich, and the sandwich ain't there no more.
But that's what happens when you don't have a good sales funnel built out.
Netflix, you failed on that one.
It short circuits. It's like, wow.
That was a fail. And I mean, because I saw the numbers. Y'all were giving $60 million for 3 shows. Like, the numbers were stellar. But nothing, if I was not already a Netflix subscriber, nothing about those specials would have made me want to become a member. So I would like to see your conversion ratio, because I know more people that's willing to sign up for Netflix because now they want to watch El Camino and catch up on everything from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, and that was another push too, kind of like binge watch all your past favorites.
But you cannot binge watch an hour.
No. But again, that's the whole idea. Fail. Come sit.
They fail.
Stay a while.
So, a couple of quick things, Toy. I just want to ask you, Ray J. What is this boy's juice? He got the life rights to Suge Knight.
Yep.
He was definitely on the scooter thing, and e-scooter now, the company, they have a moped. So Ray J, should we continue to laugh at the crazy stuff Ray J does, or at the age of 30 something, should we realize that Ray J might just be a business genius?
Right, laugh if you want to, because Ray J is walking to the bank real happy.
I mean, Ray J put Kim Kardashian on.
Not the other way around.
At me if you want to argue with me that sex tape didn't make Kim Kardashian what she is.
Absolutely. Because before that, who were they? They were just attached to like the O.J. Simpson case to their daddy. Like, that was it.
And like my friends say, Ron, don't at me, at your mammy. Because you can't argue that situation. Without that tape, there is no keeping up with the Kardashians.
No, none. Not at all. Not at all. And Ray J had a bigger name than Kim. I didn't see the tape, but apparently.
By the way, since we're talking entertainment, side note, Kanye, I don't understand why you don't want Kim Kardashian to be sexy no more. That was the whole reason why you married her. I just wanted to put that out there. I don't get it, bro. Because
he said it's mine to look at, not everybody else.
Well,
he a little territorial.
Everybody else saw it, bro. Like,
he wants to erase that from y'all memories.
Everybody already saw it. Like, Ray J told you he hit that first. Then Nick Cannon said he was before Ray J. So
nothing to see here. That's what Kanye said.
I mean, I know you found God, but you with the devil.
I don't know. That whole relationship is very interesting to me. That was a lot. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know.
She freeing brothers, right?
Right. And apparently for her birthday, Kanye donated $1 million to nonprofits that do prison reform and all that kind of great stuff. So,
although Pastor Jamal Bryan sent Kanye his money back, we don't want it over here with the good God. So everybody don't want your money. Quick shout out, Lil Nas X is certified diamond. Just want to give him that congratulations. But speaking of people that have made celebrity off of the internets, not so fast copycat. The Congress House has overwhelmingly approved a contentious new copyright bill. The Copyright Office is creating a small claims court where online content creators can go after their infringers. So all those people coming up with something beats and bytes or something text something in bytes, y'all need to shut it down because we did it first. But I think this is great. So the goal, and this is another thing, especially for Medium 4, and shout out to my boy David, the goal of giving graphic artists, photographers, and other content creators a more efficient path towards receiving damages of their works that are infringed upon. It's Congress, y'all are doing something, because we know Mitch ain't letting nothing go through Senate, but damages would be capped at $15,000 for each infringed work, and the top out is about $30,000 plus. What do you think about that, Toy?
So, right. So hip hop, was of course built off of samples and things, and there's an element of art that comes from borrowing or layering upon. Okay. So interested to see what that means, right? So I'm not saying that stealing someone's work and claiming it as your own is okay. Not at all. Nope, not at all. But if this was in place in the 70s and the 80s, would we have hip hop?
You know what? But I think the biggest thing about that, with what you're saying, is I agree with you. But this is not talking about music. This is specifically for
so content creators. Yeah, so I thought that included other.
No, I think content creator would be, so basically you're looking at photographers, videography, and graphic artists. That would be their areas of focus.
So not music. Not music artist. Okay.
No, they already know everybody's still in that left and right. They got that part taken care of. I mean, you already get.
Yeah.
If we play the wrong music in the background,
No,
text me
absolutely
some
on
rights, they gonna
YouTube.
shut it
Right.
down. So,
But yeah.
real quick note for those out there: Spotify is giving away a freebie. Spotify is offering a Google Home Mini if for free if you are a Spotify Premium subscriber from now until November 15th. By the way, I tried it; it didn't work for me. But please let me know if you get a free Google Home Mini if you are a Spotify user.
Or is that one of them baiting offers where it's like, oh yeah,
I'm trying to figure that out.
You don't
Didn't
really
totally get it. So a lot of people always talk about us talking about inclusion, and since we're still in the entertainment part, this is kind of national news, but very sad to let you guys know. With Timeline Brewery entering the industry, we pay attention to certain things, and we want you to know why we always talk about inclusion. Founders Brewing, which makes some of my favorite beers, is skipping the Detroit's Fall Beer Festival because of racial discrimination lawsuit. Founders tolerated a racist internal corporate culture. Multiple employees used the N-word in conversations with Evans, which was the employee that got fired, who was also black. And the office printers were labeled in blatantly racist fashion.
Like for coloreds only type stuff? That's crazy.
Look, I'm so over this. And the reason why I bring this up, and I know you guys are like, okay, I mean, we did tell you guys Tech Beats and Bytes, and we discussed beer and craft beer, but this is the part that really bothered me. In February, Founders Brewing said that they hired a director of diversity and inclusion and that the staff was involved in sensitivity training in an effort to promote an inclusive environment. This is tiring. Y'all have played. You have officially, as of October, today's the 23rd. As of October the 23rd, you have officially played out using hiring a diversity inclusion officer and sensitivity training for your racist situations. You have played that card out. Just pay the lawsuits, own up to it, and move on. But hiring a front to say you repair, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
And people will see right through it, right? Because if nothing truly changes internally, it's gonna show. That's what always happens. You can't get away from your truth.
And at this point, I get it. I'm just gonna have to get Reyes to go buy some barrels so I can have a new favorite barrel-aged beer. But I won't be buying the beer anymore. I won't be buying the beer not because of what happened, but because you found this the best way to versus just admitting you're wrong. And there's a lot of tech companies that need to do the same thing. Hiring an officer is not going to fix the problem. So, let's do the shout outs.
Shout outs.
All right. So we're going to do our shout outs with the strategic partner for the plug. Shout out alert. Techstars has partnered with Harlem Capital to fast-track successful women and minority-led startups. Techstars, the world network that helps entrepreneurs succeed in Harlem Capital, HCP, a New York-based early-stage venture capital firm, announced that the launch of a joint partnership focused on recruiting and investing in diverse founders to build the next generation of world-class businesses. Congratulations to Techstars and Harlem Capital.
She raised $40 million from her last startup. Now she's heading up MasterCard's new Center for Inclusive Growth. Marla Blow, who founded credit card company FS Card and ultimately raised $40 million in venture capital before selling it, has joined financial giant MasterCard as the lead for North America for the MasterCard Center for Inclusive Growth. Shout out to her. Keep growing, sis. We watching.
All right. New Me Boot Camp lands $1.2 million to train 100 black founders in 2020. This is what I'm talking about.
Say what?
Nearly 3 years later, after an uphill climb to configuring a program that would effectively build up venture backable companies and teams from underrepresented groups, the Hillman Accelerator, that is Candace and Brian Burkeen, home team.
We see y'all.
And its subsequent New Me Bootcamp picked up a confirmed $1.2 million in its 2020 programming. Now, those are your shout outs brought to you by The Plug, but that is amazing. Brian, Candace, we see you. We are proud of you. Keep it going. That is amazing. So we did that because we needed some positivity before we got back into it. The increase of black teens and suicide attempts. And this is where data and stats comes into place. According to the CDC's Youth Behavior Survey, suicide rates increased between the years of 1991 and 2007, particularly with African American boys. We have to be careful when saying such stats without giving content. Whereas you got to think about the humanity and compassion when it comes to young African American boys. African American boys, especially in urban environments, have PTSD that rivals with combat hardened soldiers. And the reason why this kind of hit home to me, I was talking to my mother and she was talking about the amount of fights and the anger and anxiety issues that was happening in Panama City. And this was only because of a hurricane. And granted, Category 5 hurricane, a lot of displacement, but it's different to see certain things on the news versus being able to hear a lot of the backstories. And she said it's getting rough toward you. So
yeah, I can only imagine.
With the major cities, the narrative you've seen is everything that's going on. And with everything that's wrong, could you not expect the tension? You got to understand, we were at, Toy, you remember this weekend we did the IGN Festival.
Yes, shout out to Elijah and Martha.
And it was 3 young black gentlemen. Yeah, and I say gentlemen because they're young men.
Yeah, they're in their teens.
16, 17 years old, and they have a company they were putting together, and it's a combination of their names to show unity and to present unity.
Yep.
And these young men, this young man, he came up and he read a poem because they're starting a clothing line to get their message out. But if you would have heard this poem he read, his pain and his anxiety of what he was going through is just as reflective of what I'm going through as a 40-year-old man. You got to understand, there is no reason that I feel a 16-year-old should feel the amount of pain and fear that I feel at 40. At that point, I feel like I'm not protecting the youth. Like we haven't done a good job to make a situation better. And to hear his story and to hear that poem, you're only talking about 3 minutes of intake. I can only imagine how much them young men have bottled up.
Yeah. No, it was very moving. But to see how they are taking their frustrations and some of their anger and turning it into something creative, right? Yes. Fashion and spoken word and music and videography. That's the power of creativity, right? It's sort of taking your emotional and using it as inspiration for your art. And there's transformation, there's transmutation in that. And that's where the magic comes from. So shout out to them, because they could just be sitting at home or doing something else, but no, they're choosing to use their energy in a really good and positive way.
And we gave them some tips, and we told them, take the message, because if you would have heard, the message is the brand itself. Yep. The clothes will be one thing, but the message is definitely its brand.
Absolutely.
Oh, come to find out, they sent us a thank you to our Instagram account. We appreciate that. Oh, so they took our advice. They took our advice, and we just found out they're going to be pivoting their company to focus on the message, and the clothing would be secondary. Because we explained to them how hard the clothing industry is, but that message needs to be heard 20 times over. Right. So that was amazing. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, someone needs to hear this. Someone needs to hear this. There's levels, people. There's just levels in business. There's levels in life. There's levels in relationships. And rest assured that we're just not all on the same playing field, but you should definitely know your level. Overselling yourself, overselling your assets without the truth just isn't a great pitch. Just some quick examples. You probably shouldn't be out in these streets downing somebody of how they deal with relationships or how they deal with business, when if the table was turned, you couldn't put the same damn cards back on the table. I don't know why you looking for an ambitious man with no kids that can house you and take care of you, if you 4 kids in without a job and you can't support yourself? Look at the levels. I don't know why you expect somebody to put more into your business or to do more for your company than you're doing for yourself, but you're the one talking about grinding. I'm busy. I'm always out here in these streets. No, you're not. Nobody is working all the time. As an entrepreneur, let me tell you, one of the most sacred things is downtime of doing nothing. Nobody wants to work all the damn time. That's not why we became entrepreneurs. Every entrepreneur's dream was to get to a point of having a check on the back end without doing anything. That's why we decided to do what we are doing. The whole goal was we wanted to get to a point where we could make money and not have to go in and work for somebody else. Context. Just tell the truth. And when you tell the truth and you look at different levels, always remember that you're not going to be judged the same. Because somebody got a $1.7 billion bailout for messing up. Somebody else has the Sunday blues, and now they're reporting that Trick Daddy is filing bankruptcy, although he just opened up Sunday eateries. I don't know if you remember, but our president has filed bankruptcy 7 times. I don't want to hear you talk about Trick Daddy's bankruptcies, because in the levels, he's doing more for our community than Donald Trump ever has. And that would have been just with the song from Slip and Slide along with Trina. Perspective. Understand your level. Understand your position. You don't have to talk bad about people all the time. You don't always have to prove your point, but be ready to match whatever you're willing to say if you are going to make that point. And make sure your rebuttal is more factual than emotional, because emotional and emotions are objective. Facts are facts. They're not opinionated. But someone needs to hear this, because you're dealing with somebody right now that's not on your level and you're upset. And that's either way, above or below. But you're dealing with somebody right now on your level that's not on your level, and you're getting angry and you're getting frustrated. Learn the art of saying no and just walking away, or learn the art of being humble and realizing you got to level up if you want to play on that playing field. But someone needs to hear this. So
that's Mike.
And that's Toya.
This is Tech Beats and Bytes.